The biggest enemy of change is acceptance. The moment that you accept something that you know is not true, you will never change. People will always tell you that you're not good enough, that you're not gonna be this, that you'll never be this. You can listen to them and hear them out, but you cannot accept it. You can never believe it and accept it, because you will be what they say. The moment you accept it. Now, just recently, Ciryl Gane was talking about how he's lazy. The exact quotes are, "I'm lazy, that's the truth." And he continued to talk about how he only trains for a fight once it is announced. And that is Ciryl Gane accepting the fact that he's lazy. Because people will always tell you that you're this, that you're that. You can never accept it. But if they tell you that you're lazy, just an example, that you're lazy, you'll have to look at yourself and think, is that true? And you're gonna have to think real hard if that's true or not. And the moment that you accept what they say, you'll never change. You will never see a guy accept a fact that he's this. He's an idiot. Just an example, that he's an idiot, and he accepts that fact, and he becomes smart. All of a sudden, that's not gonna happen. He's gonna have to accept the fact that he's not, that he can be smarter. The moment somebody accepts that they're this, that they're lazy, that they're dumb, they will be dumb. And Ciryl Gane just did that. He just accepted the fact and declared it to the world that he's lazy. That he's lazy. And you're gonna find it very difficult to accept something that you know is not true. Let's just say, just an example, you're 6 foot. They tell you you're 6 foot. And of course that's not true. You're not 6 foot tall. You're not gonna find it very easy to accept that because it's not true. Something's very easy to accept if you know it's true. Or vice versa. If they tell you that you're 5 foot tall, and you are 5 foot tall, you can easily accept that fact. Same thing goes if they tell you you're lazy, you look at yourself and you go, okay, I'm lazy. Then, you can easily accept that fact that you're lazy, and you will never ever be a hard worker the moment you accept you're lazy. And Ciryl Gane did that. Ciryl Gane did exactly that. He accepted the fact publicly that he's lazy and he told everybody. But the biggest friend of change is motivation. The biggest friend of change is motivation. A motivation to change. That is change's biggest friend, motivation. You gotta have to find a reason to change. You gotta have to find a very strong motivation to change. If they tell you you're lazy, they tell you that you're this, that you're an idiot, you can accept that. Some people will. But you should never ever accept that. Some people can, some people will. But the moment that you do, the best thing to do is change. And you will change if you find a good motivation to do so. If a guy tells himself that he's lazy, and he can't be lazy, That's the problem. He's lazy, but he can't be lazy. He accepts the fact that he's lazy, but he can't be lazy. He's only gonna change because you can never accept the fact that's not true. But if you do accept it, because it's true, and that will help you change, you might be that guy, or you might know a guy that's like that. And they need to find the motivation to change, to not be lazy. That motivation can be anything, but don't be quick to think that Ciryl Gane will get absolutely demolished, that it's gonna get squashed by Jon Jones because of that statement. Because Jon Jones, for anyone, can be such a massive motivation. Especially if you're Ciryl Gane. You never won a title. Your most impressive win is against Tai Tuivasa, who lost 3 in a row now. You could even argue that Ciryl Gane's biggest win is against Derrick Lewis, who lost 3 in a row now. Jon Jones is such a big motivation for a guy like Ciryl Gane, because if he beats him, he's not just beating the greatest fighter of all time. As a matter of fact, the consensus greatest fighter of all time, including me, I agree with that. He's not just beating the consensus greatest fighter of all time, he's beating him to become the champion. Because Ciryl Gane has never touched undisputed gold in his entire life. And he's gonna do it against the consensus greatest fighter of all time. I mean, that is just incredible. That's a massive motivation. And motivation is the biggest friend of change. You're gonna have to find a motivation to change. I think Ciryl Gane has a motivation to change. Ciryl Gane has an opportunity to change because of this massive motivation that he has in his hands, which is named Jon Jones. If you beat Jon Jones, who is the consensus greatest fighter of all time, not everybody will call you that, by the way, but you can say, if I beat your so-called GOAT, which I don't agree with, why shouldn't I be GOAT? Same thing works if I beat a champion. Why shouldn't I be champion if I beat a champion? Why shouldn't I be the greatest fighter of all time if I beat the greatest fighter of all time? I don't agree with that, but you can definitely make a strong argument because he just beat Jon Jones. That's massive motivation for a guy like Ciryl Gane. And I think that him saying that he's lazy, and that he's accepting the fact that he's lazy, okay, fine. But Ciryl Gane, don't be fooled into thinking that Ciryl Gane will just get squashed by Jon Jones. That he's gonna get squashed like a little ant. Like an ant. Because the biggest friend of change is motivation. And beating Jon Jones is a massive motivation.